Have you ever heard of this phrase, Shalom brand? Probably you have, but if you look closer, you've probably seen a school under this group. Like the legendary SAN, Shalom Academy in Nsukka, known for being one of the leading schools in Enugu and Nigeria at large, having many records in state, national and even international examinations, having gone international twice in two different countries, India and Japan, for world-class exams. What if I told you there is another, built to be better, more equipped and even have better personnel and higher standards? Let me introduce you to a technology-based school in Enugu, STAC, Shalom Science and Technology Academy. Started up in 2016, located in Enugu East, MNA, placed in such a location for optimal concentration and reduced environmental noise, and creating a balanced environment for learning. The school had a good start with a humble number of students in the first admission of students into the school. Due to the school's clean prospectus and intriguing reviews, the school was made even more known as days turned to weeks and weeks to months. The school only increases in standards. We'll talk more about the standards later. This will also be a good time for you to like and subscribe if you haven't already.
Our intention is to showcase all one will want to know about this first-class establishment, STAC. And how else will I do that without asking the most important question, what is being done in the school? Well, in one word, learning. In one sentence, intensive and practical learning. Hitting all key points in one's education, preparing one for his or her future. A good way to define what we do is to take the school like a job, where the students are the workers, but their work can't be done perfectly alone. So we have the manager, in our case the teacher, who shows the workers what to do and how to get it until we the workers are independent and can defend our work anywhere we go. Trust me, the time taken for the students to pick up is not very long from my observation. And if you have doubts, I'll clear them. Here's a clip of a student who picked up recently in grades and what made her to show in the interview.
My name is Eugene Chimdalu Senior. The things that were happening before I started doing well was that I was not always listening in the class, not always making my notes complete, always playing, and then feeling that everything was about having fun. Like our director said, doing better than what you did yesterday. I looked at my results throughout my junior school, and I found out that if I continue this way, I won't go far in life and I will not be what I want to be in future. And I stopped playing. I continued writing my notes to make them complete so that I can also be part of people that they are giving awards in our STAC. So I participated in my extramural classes, and there are some that were like the team made us not to have our sports time. So I loved playing, so I had to work on me so that I will not be part of extramural class, because extramural class is not free. Our parents do pay for it.
The person in the clip just seen was someone who I personally believe has improved drastically, both in academics and in spiritual life. Yes, I'll say it again, spiritual life. Shalom Science and Technology Academy is a Christocentric school. We all know that if one puts God first, everything else is possible. Seeing how God has carried the school through many exams seamlessly, it means that something is truly going on in this school. Given that the day's activity starts with Christ, I might as well give you a rundown on the rest of the routine, starting by 5 a.m. when we wake up during weekdays. Quiet time. Students wake up and within the first 15 minutes, they have time with God to study His Word. Devotion, where students move to a meeting area and are taught based on the Bible guide for another 15 minutes. Then, the students return and have their showers and get ready for school within 30 minutes. Right after that, the students move to the refectory to have their breakfast. Moving on, students go back to the hostel to clean their rooms and the hostel. Then we have the morning assembly. Students move from being done with their work in the hostels to the assembly ground where a student preaches to improve one's public speaking skills. Then the anthem is sung.
We are Shalom, Shalom Science and Technology, Enugu State. We are standing on the rock that never fails and can never fail. Leading the way in practical science, taking technology to new heights, making history, taking the world by storm. Bringing creativity in your minds, raising budding entrepreneurs, not working by might, but by faith in God. We are Shalom. Shalom Science and Technology, Enugu State. We are standing on the rock that never fails and can never fail.
And the students are addressed by the principal and the admin. When the assembly is done, students do tidy up their books and get ready for classes. Class commences. The teacher begins their lesson in respective classes. Students also go to the laboratories for practicals and classes, an e-learning room for projection of videos and diagrams to enhance the teaching experience. Laboratories fully equipped with top-tier equipment, creating the standards talked about earlier for us. A school is not just to be different, but to be better and remain outstanding. A school with over 7 main infrastructures. Moving on, my team and I gathered questions from the students and filtered them to the 4 most asked questions. But we won't be able to answer these questions alone, so we asked the most informed person in the school, the Director of Administration.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Nice to meet you. Please, do you mind telling us who you are?
Okay, so Engineer Tochukwu Onu, the Director of Administration, Shalom Science and Technology Academy, MNA Enugu State. The overall vision of this school is to be able to raise giants, leaders who are competent not only in the theoretical knowledge of science, computer, and technology, but ones who are actually able to apply such knowledge to problem solve. So people who are practically oriented in the knowledge of science, computer, and technology. And the history of this school came from our sister school, which you might have heard of, Shalom Academy in Suka. It was actually when we won the Olympiad competition on the state level, proceeded to the regional level, won it there, proceeded to the national level, won it there, and actually represented Nigeria in India, that we found a gap in the difference between students who study in Nigeria in secondary school when it comes to practical knowledge, and those of them who study on the international stage. So what do I mean by that? Our students unfortunately could not perform excellently well when they got to the international stage because of lack of certain knowledge when it comes to practical use of equipment in science, computer, and technology. The same thing repeated itself the next year when we were also very lucky, and of course through our effort and grace of God, to have won the competition again on the national stage and represented Nigeria, this time in Japan. We also found a similarity when it came to the practical knowledge of science, computer, and technology when it got to the international stage. So the director, like I mentioned, Dr. William, took it upon himself to found a school like this where from the cradle, from the foundation, as we admit students in the junior secondary school, JSS1, year 7, students are exposed to the practical knowledge of science, computer, and technology. So to summarize all I've said, it's our vision, therefore, to be able to raise leaders who are competent in the practical knowledge of science, computer, and technology. So this, I think, summarizes the vision, or the answers the question, why was a school like this founded? When you say what has been the greatest challenge, that's quite tricky. Okay, so basically, personnel, human resource availability, can pose a challenge, particularly for a high achieving secondary school like ours that deal with top quality. It's top quality or nothing. It can be challenging or difficult, as the case may be, to sort of recruit personnel or staff who are able to occupy positions, specific positions. So, for example, of course, it's usual in business, you have movement of staff in and out of every business. So, assuming you have a staff who leaves, for example, one of the things we have found is that it takes us quite a while to be able to find the right peg to fit into the right hole, and because this is basically because of what our expectations are and the quality that we intend to deliver. So we would not just pick up any staff to fill in the position for the sake of it. The staff that we deem to be fit and able to occupy positions that become available are staff that satisfy specific requirements. So this could pose a little bit of challenge in the recruitment process. However, like I said, through the different events of our recruitment, we've been able to surmount these challenges. And I can tell you that we are having now to better our access to staff when the case arises. To buttress what I've been saying, there was this time we lost a staff who was responsible for a very practical and engaging subject like robotic science. We didn't want to immediately recruit just about anybody to fill this position. We actually knew that a subject like robotic science needed a lot of critical analytical skills, a lot of design, engineering, automation, computer programming, electronics knowledge. So we didn't just want to pick up any staff out there. We wanted to make sure that the staff we're going to use to replace this staff who had just left was the right staff to do so. So that took us a bit of time to be able to go around available resources, human resources, and put them through various tests and various recruitment processes in order to get that one who fits right into our requirement. So this is actually the some of the challenges we face, if I can use that word challenge. Apart from the usual challenges faced in any building site, where you have, of course, those the tax collectors, well, not tax collectors per se, but I think the indigents, have these boys coming around to maybe demand some money here and there. But our campus is quite big, the buildings are big, so there might have been a few engineering matters that the engineers had to deal with. But I can tell you that it wasn't a challenge that was unsurmountable, because all the challenges were surmounted. But particularly one that I might want to say, of course, access to water is kind of a concern. When you're building it, particularly in our state. So you can imagine the amount of or the demand for water used in building such huge infrastructure here. One of the beauties I got to learn was that we actually constructed reservoirs across. So this actually helped us to gather water and therefore provide excess access to water during the construction stage. So I don't think necessarily there were challenges that we couldn't surmount per se, but of course that building something like this takes a lot of capital, A lot of economics goes into it, finances, government approvals, and all that. So it's not like the easiest of work paths, if I should use that term. But actually, in the end, we came out gracious, and as you can see, and as parents keep appreciating, even passers-by keep appreciating as they go by. This is a big campus that was built, purposely built for facilities like this that would help in practical learning and practical education. I wish you guys the best, and I look forward to a fantastic output at the end of the day. Thank you.
Now, SSTAC is known to be an elite school, but we wouldn't be so elite if we didn't have anything to show for it, will we? SSTAC as a school has gone for many competitions in the past, and most likely as you're watching this, students are probably preparing for one right now. All work without play makes Jack a lazy boy. SSTAC is equipped with sporting equipment to keep the students fit, and activities like football, basketball, and even board games like chess. But one's primary goal over here is not all fun and games, but to acquire wisdom and learn new things that draw a line between us and other students in their respective schools. SSTAC comes with a fully equipped library, necessary for optimal reading and research. But there has to be time provided for the use of libraries. That's where prep time comes in. The time after a short rest in the hostel from school. During prep, students come out to study and revise what they learned previously, or even study ahead. But like every other thing, even if not previously stated, there must be total supervision. During experiments in the labs, during examinations, and in the hostel, even in the refectory, and many more. But by who? Who is the person, or maybe people? Well, I want you to say hello to the school functionaries. A group of set-out elite students placed in different positions, controlling their area with a mind of wisdom and authority. Each day during prep, functionaries spread out through the junior classes, supervising them.
My name is Enugu Augustine. I'm an SSTAC student. I'm the senior prefect of this school, 2023-2024 session. Okay, experience basically, if I was giving it a general rating, that was really nice. Watching the fact that I'm almost actually concluding, and I haven't had any reason to quit the school or anything. And then, by the way, it's been a roller coaster because there are highs, there are lows, workloads, but everything I just like trained me to become a better person. So I already experienced like really nice experience. Anyone with the opportunity to have the experience, and I'm grateful to have that. There are times you are working on something, you want to improve academically somewhere, and then you actually see it work out. You have been grinding for this master's, for this biology, for this practical, and then at the end of the day, you see that your results are a plus, not a minus, and then it's really nice to have that kind of experience. And I've had it many times, so I'm just a lot of time in this school. Okay, as back then I was a child, I was younger, and then everyone had the yearning to go home. That was back then, my just when we had to stay back for more academic work, and then it was really painful seeing your mates go and then you're back at school. So let's just call that one a low. Okay, my kid in future going to a science technology school or a school that does everything inclusive of arts, be dependent on the kind of person he or she is going to be. And then boarding or day, not bringing in the debates, but I feel like a boarding school really exposed to kids what I've exposed and made me a better person, better in hygiene, better in social relations with people, and then has given me this boost of confidence when it comes to living independently. So I feel like I'll opt for the boarding school, and then science and technology or arts or other areas or other sciences will be dependent on the kind of person it turns out to be, he or she turns out to be. Some of the things I've learned as a functionary, leading other students, better time management, better decision making, knowing the best course of action to take and when to take it, and then how to relate to people more. Because you need your classmates to be on your side, you need the other students to be on your side, and you also need the cooperation of the staff. And then you have to be someone who is endowed with wisdom, or you have to learn the wisdom if that's possible. You have to handle all these things. and then have a cooperative society or organization. Okay, to the younger students, let's say senior secondary one, community leadership position. It's not going to be easy, and then you have to be on point on one thing. No matter how good you perform, it only comes to matter at the end when you are consistent. And that's what you have to do. You can't start and then you drop it. And then number two, junior secondary. The best words academically, because I don't feel like you'll have much burden in other places until maybe they get to the SS2. It'll be senior secondary is very different from senior secondary. Junior secondary, you might ace some things by basic knowledge you have. Then senior secondary, you have to read. And then when it's closer than you think, even for the just straight, when you test SS1, you don't know how fast you're going to breeze into SS2. And now see me, I'm almost in SS3, about to face my exams. So these are the things you have to wake up to. So you also have to learn how to kill other, let's say, other engagements you have or passions you have for the time being. Because they like to not matter how great you're going to be, you still need your papers, academic papers, they are still going to matter. So sometimes we just have to keep some things on the low. Maybe coding, video editing, have to keep it behind sometimes. Just face what is facing you at that point in time. Later on, from buyer, you're free, and whatever you want to do.
Students have prep for a total of 3 hours 45 minutes, divided in 2 segments with dinner in between. And finally, students march to the hostel, tidy up their spaces, and get ready for the next day.
We're trying to do a kind of specialization at this level. Here, which is Shalom Academy, we do arts and science here. But the dimension God is taking us is to get into science and technology. Right away, Shalom has a young school beginning in September, where emphasis is on science, technology, and computer. I was in Springfield, United States, not long ago, where I took a study of the baccalaureate college there. I discovered that science ought to be practicalized. People who study science theoretically end up knowing it theoretically. And of course, the effect is not normally seen.